Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock Doc podcast featuring Dr. London Smith, America's #1 health and fitness expert for over 27 years. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock Doc podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. Aww. We have received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as high-density lipoprotein cholesterol and what has a ring but no finger. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Hey, Dr. London. I've noticed you've been looking pretty swole lately. I've been wondering, do you remember a long time ago publishing a journal, Dr. London, about the top 10 exercise tips for 1999?
It's been so long, but
I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be fun to sort of revisit this old article that you had published. This is back on your old GeoCities site. And we can say, hey, have these exercises held up? Are these things that our listeners should still be doing?
I want to say before we get into this, medicine was different back then. A lot has changed.
Yes.
Just
it's faster.
It's just sped up, I guess. Yeah, is most of it. So, these exercises might sound slow, I guess, is the main issue.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just a you being slow thing. I feel like that's just you being weak projecting.
It could have also been my internet connection back then as well.
Yeah, I guess. I really think it's a weakness thing. But some of these tips, if we can go over them. Number 1, Dr. London, you said lift as many beans as you can. You're going to be collecting so many beans to prepare for the apocalypse, Y2K. So make sure to lift as many as you can, but don't lift too many. You don't want to get hurt. It's better to do it a little bit more weight, few more bean cans at a time every single day, rather than taking on too many bean cans, because then you'll be too weak to protect your family.
Yeah.
So that's tip number 1. Do you think that one holds up?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help in Y2K. I'll admit that now. When Y2K happened, I feel like the amount of beans that I had stockpiled were they were adequate, but I felt like it was overdoing it a little bit. So
right. And then unfortunately you for some reason also threw a New Year's party.
Yeah.
Also but sort of preparing everything to sort of shit to hit the fan. Mm-hmm. But then suddenly you had nothing to give your guests after midnight because you just had sort of a basement full of beans.
No, I had beans to give them. They had plenty of beans.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's... You only had beans.
Yeah. Are you criticizing my parties? Because that's kind of been a theme for a while.
I guess I don't know what I thought. I apologize. You're standing behind just supplying a lot of beans.
Well,
but anyway, do you stand by this exercise, Dr. London?
Yeah, I mean, if by stand by you mean stand, lift, it's good for biceps. Depending on how you're lifting, yeah. Hard not to.
This tip number 4 here. This is a fun one. It says practice running back and forth in your bedroom as fast as you can. Put on a cape so you can pretend like you're flying. And then make sure that you get top speed so you can run away from either zombies or other Y2K specific things after shit hits the fan on Y2K. Do you still stand by that?
Okay, aspects of it. I think...
Let's break it down.
Yeah. Well, you can expand this. So, at the time, I didn't know if it'd be safe to go outside. So, since then, we've learned, after Y2K, it's still as safe to go outside as it is to stay inside your bedroom. So I'd say you can run around outside. You don't have to keep so restricted. But I think everything else holds up. You want to put on your cape, because you can actually,
sure.
If you find sort of a hill or like a small cliff, you can kind of hop over those a little bit and make your cape kind of flow behind you. And so it's almost like being a real superhero. So, yeah, I don't see how that one couldn't hold up, honestly, just with the physics.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so fun to revisit these and think little Dr. London back then, coming up with these imaginative scenarios. Would he be able to predict 20 years later, 25 years later or whatever, that you'd still be standing by these what's fun exercises?
What's really weird is, because that article, or that part of it in particular, I think I wrote the same thing last year on my annual workout routines.
You haven't. I don't keep up with it. You haven't updated it, so maybe this is boring to you. I'm just reading back.
Well, no, I write a new one every year, but it sounds like that one just hasn't changed whenever I rewrite. You're gonna put on your mask. Like, it's only got Marvel movies have made it so like this is only getting more popular, the superhero thing. So
sure,
and incorporating that into your workout seems fun, creative, exciting, and these superheroes are actually great role models for us in terms of how to build muscle. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big part here that talks about like learning how to box is really important, because you're going to be fighting a lot of machines with your bare fists once the world collapses on January 1st, 2000.
Yeah, and so
does that one still hold up?
Yeah, so
you still big pro boxing guy?
So one like, I'm going to admit right now that I was wrong on that a little bit. You have to wrap your knuckles appropriately, because otherwise you will injure your hands whenever you're fighting.
I didn't realize you were specifically advocating for bare knuckle boxing.
Well, hearing it read back to me at least, I didn't specifically say it, but people who box regularly, they know you have to, wrap your fingers and your knuckles correctly, because you don't want to injure your hand. You want to prevent injury here. So, but yeah, that otherwise, I think that one's pretty appropriate still.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we have the last one here, which is whenever Push by Matchbox 20 comes on, do 10 push-ups, and this will make you strong to fight off either robot overlords or alien overlords or government overlords or Al Gore. You were really worried about Al Gore at that time.
Okay, actually, this one word for word, I actually want to use in, I guess, man, I already released this year's annual workout. I guess I'll have to add, I'll publish an apology and an addendum to add this, because this is actually really good, especially the Al Gore part. We have to be.
That's still pretty relevant to your exercises, huh?
Yeah. We gotta be ready, because like we've all seen robots by this time. How many robot dog videos have you seen? It's crazy how many of these, and so it's just too many, and we have to be ready. So yeah, every time that song comes on, you are gonna want to drop down, do some push-ups, which like they're great for your core, great for biceps, triceps, whatever. But like it's also great for these emergency situations that can pop up, and
fighting off Al Gore, fighting off aliens or robots, or
climate change. What? Yeah, like these are all
cannibals, climate change. Yeah.
Push-ups
are sort of universally useful.
Yeah, like I said, like it works out so many muscle groups at the same time. Push-ups are a fantastic way to work out. So
I mean, it sounds like, for the most part, it seems like it's lift stuff, run, do push-ups.
Yeah, you got cardio.
And box. Which I feel like all of those are pretty useful tips. Do you have anything that you would love to have told yourself back then? If you could time travel, get in the room with 1999 London Smith, what would you tell him?
Okay. Message for past me. And this is we're being playful here a little bit, but like this is a real thing. Past me, the robots can become waterproofed, so the water gun idea isn't like gonna be completely foolproof. Like you're gonna have to spray them. Like you're gonna have to find a way to get under the armor, under the waterproofing, and apply the water that way or find something else. Like, obviously, technology has changed since then. So I'm giving myself away here, but I used to think that a super soaker would basically solve all those problems. So.
And then how old were you when you sort of realized that super soakers weren't the answer to all your problems?
I want to say I was like 38, 39, maybe.
Oh, okay. So like 2001?
Yeah, somewhere in there. So
yeah. So if you could go back and talk to 36-year-old Dr. London in 1999, sheesh.
I mean, he knew a lot, but yeah, there were obviously these areas that he was lacking in. But in any case, so thank you for walking me through this. It's nice to hear my writing back to me. Like, I feel like, in some ways, I feel like I've gotten better.
It should happen more often. The stuff you write is so inspirational, especially when you're talking about the way you describe how a robot's hands could choke you much harder, at least twice as hard as human hands.
Yeah, I did the math on that one.
That moved me, Dr. London.
I remember the algorithm. I came up with an algorithm for it, which granted, like, it was a sort of a communal thing. Lots of people were posting their algorithms for it on their forums, but I definitely had my take, and I think I underestimated. Clearly, I underestimated, but
how you think robots are potentially even more than twice as strong as human?
But the dogs, at least, yeah. Have you seen those things
times?
in the videos?
I've seen them like flip around. I haven't seen them like. Yeah, I guess you do have to be pretty strong to do a backflip.
Yeah, and I guess what we both have in mind are just the ones that go, and they just do a little backflip real quick, and that's all.
Yes.
Yeah,
robot dogs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boston Robotics dogs. They go, just do a little.
I don't want to speak out of turn, so what I'm going to say is I would have to run the algorithm again with the more recent data. I don't want to say what multiplier. We know it's greater than 2 times, obviously, but to put it
could be 2.5.
Could for all I know, yeah, for all I know, but like it's definitely twice as much as human. Anyway, so that's our producer Cameron. Also with us is Digital in the house. I think I underestimated the algorithm. I think I underestimated the algorithm. Yeah, I did the math on that one, yeah. You have to stand by the algorithm. You have to stand by
Al Gore.
You have to
fight off
the algorithm. You have to
fight off Al Gore.
I don't know the more recent climate change data. You have to stand by the algorithm. You have to stand by
Al Gore.
You have to. And later, we have kind of a really exciting community event coming up. So I don't want to spoil anything yet. We're going to get to it. But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. Our marketing demographics, from what I understand, we gathered all the data, which, everyone's a big fan of, like they love how good we are at data gathering. So we got all this data from our listeners, and it turns out that you, listener, are between the ages of 45 and 55 years old.
That's right, Dr. London.
Yeah. And you also from what I understand, Cameron, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you listener cannot read or write or really kind of understand basic social human interaction.
No, I think it depends on how basic you're willing to get. I think they know,
Okay.
like, let's say you've heard the expression don't shit where you eat. I think they know to like not do that, for example.
Okay.
And I think
But,
that's
yeah.
something to praise and to be proud of.
Yeah, so it's idioms. They've got idioms figured out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Maybe only that one. I can't guarantee. I haven't seen them poop on their own food is really sort of what I'm getting at. So I
Okay.
have to assume they've evolved at least that much.
Yeah, that's not even the idiom. To pooping on your own, they took it further. Okay. Well, anyway, so the nature of the feedback has changed because of this changing demographics.
Demographic shift.
So, yeah. So this week's feedback comes in the form of a really big leaf. Okay, so it's way bigger than the leaves you usually see. It looks like our listener found a leaf that looked really big, and they put it in our listener box. So, great. That's a really cool thing in nature. That's biology. That's plant biology. So that's.
What do you think they were trying to communicate with this letter they sent in?
Yeah, well, it's, I guess in a sense you could think of it as a letter. It's just, written by nature. Maybe they think that we respect nature. It's
it's
a green leaf. Yeah.
That's an optimistic way of interpreting it. Let's hear a pessimistic way of interpreting it, just to balance
Okay.
things out.
Oh, from me?
Yes. You're the doctor.
Okay. Yeah. So the leaf is shed and then they die. So I would think this leaf will inevitably crumble and die. And so possibly they think that our podcast is, however good it is now, it is about to become discolored and
Yeah, and sort of
crumble away.
and sort of die. And that is sort of beautiful, isn't it, Dr. London? All things come to an end. Circle of life. Our podcast will one day die, and then it will be eaten by the animals, who will then grow to feed other they will be slaughtered and then turned into meat that sustains other podcasters.
Yeah, so that's these are all potential interpretations. The slaughtering of the podcast is unfortunately a big theme in the forums as well. But we appreciate all the feedback regardless. We want to keep improving, and the only way to improve is based on your comments. So please keep it up. Please keep letting us know how to fix things, what's wrong, and how to make it better. So thank you for listening. Now for today's medical topic, acromegaly. Acromegaly is the overproduction of growth hormone leading to overgrowth of soft tissue throughout the body. It can be caused by pituitary adenoma, which is the cause in 95% of cases, but it can also be caused by MEN syndrome when it's combined with a parathyroid or pancreatic disorder, such as a gastronoma or insulinoma. So, acromegaly can also be caused by ectopic growth hormone or growth hormone releasing hormone production from the lymphoma or bronchial carcinoid, but those ones tend to be more rare.
So you're talking about being like a big guy.
Yeah, acromegaly. They sort of these patients will famously be sort of taller.
And you're like jealous of them? Is that why are
no.
you bringing it up? Sorry, but I don't. Why are you bringing it up? Were we talking about that? I thought we were talking about like leaves and stuff.
Yeah, no, we were talking about leaves and stuff, but then we moved on to the medical topic. So acromegaly, this is a disease. So I'm not so much jealous of it.
Yeah, and these are like some guys you're jealous of or whatever.
No, so patients with acromegaly, they can have like cardiovascular diseases. So like I don't particularly want the sort of the caveats that come with it. I wouldn't mind being a little taller, but
yeah,
that's not like why I'm talking about it.
You're so jealous. You're about to cry.
No,
You're so jealous.
So clinically, acromegaly will present with enlarged soft tissue like cartilage and bone, This can manifest in a lot of ways. Patients may have increased ring and shoe size or carpal tunnel syndrome. They may have obstructive sleep apnea from the soft tissues enlarging. May have body odor from sweat gland hypertrophy, coarsening facial features, teeth widening from jaw growth. They can have deep voice, enlarged tongue, colonic polyps, skin tags, colon cancer. They can have arthralgias, like joint pains from joints coming out of alignment.
This is all stuff you're jealous of. You're just listing all these things that you sort of wish you had.
High blood pressure,
deeper voice, high blood pressure.
Yeah, high blood pressure resistant to treatment for unclear reasons until they get the diagnosis. They may have cardiomegaly and congestive heart failure, erectile dysfunction from the increased prolactin co-secreted with
Oh my gosh, you're so jealous when you hear that.
with the pituitary adenoma.
If you could finally have an excuse, oh man.
And they can have hyperglycemia. It should be noted that abuse of growth hormone can present the same way as acromegaly. So that's something to watch out for. Lab tests.
Oh, okay. So you could, if you could recreate the sensation if you really wanted to. Is that what this is all about? You want approval?
No. I don't need your approval to sort of
to give yourself a bunch of growth hormones.
No, I don't think I need that so much. But so lab tests will show glucose intolerance and hyperlipidemia, and these contribute to the cardiac dysfunction. The best initial test for cardiomegaly is the insulin-like growth factor level, whereas the most accurate test is a glucose suppression test, because glucose would normally suppress the growth hormone. After laboratory results confirm acromegaly, these patients should have an MRI done to view the pituitary to check for growth and such. Treatment options for acromegaly include a transphenoidal resection of the pituitary, and that has a 70% success rate. Larger adenomas are harder to cure, so medications for acromegaly include cabergoline, and that uses dopamine to inhibit growth hormone release. Another medication option would be octreotide or lanreotide, and these use somatostatin to inhibit growth hormone release. And then there's also pegvisomant, that uses a growth hormone receptor antagonist to inhibit insulin-like growth factor release from the liver. And finally, radiation should only be used when there's no response to surgery or medication.
You're saying like exposing someone to radiation and then they grow 10 times their size.
No, I'm sorry. So, no, this would be to treat that disease.
Like you put them in the same radiation container with an ant, let's say. And then they grow really big, and then they can lift like 100 times their size.
I feel like you even skip the chapters in the comic book to get. So let's say hypothetically.
What are you talking about?
So
talking about an ant.
In comic books.
And a man.
The ant would be somehow altered genetically. And I'm not talking, this isn't medicine, I'm talking in the comic books, this is how it would be.
Okay.
Let's say to make an ant-powered person.
And you're jealous of this?
Wow. No, I mean, maybe let me talk this out to see if I am jealous, because I don't actually know yet.
Okay.
So the ant gets altered genetically somehow. So it's got whatever enhancements. It bites this guy, this hypothetical person. The guy with these with that transfer whenever he's bitten, he becomes as strong, relative to his size, as an ant. So,
yeah, and maybe grows a couple of inches. Why not?
Yeah. So in that situation, would I like that? Maybe, I guess.
And is this?
But that's not acromegaly.
We can cut this out if you're embarrassed by it. But is this all stemming back to your old nickname, Little London?
It's no, it's not. It's not stemming from the nickname. It might have something to do with sort of
Little London, Little London.
Yeah, and all the okay. The reason I didn't like that song was because all of the children in the neighborhood would dress up in white attire, white clothing, hold hands, and chant around me. Little one, and it was.
Yeah,
I think that's creepy by like anyone's standards,
Well, and when your siblings and your mom would join in.
Yeah,
I mean, I was part of it.
The bonfire. Yeah. It was a lot of the effigy as well. I didn't.
Little London, little London.
Yeah. No, so I get, you know what? We should cut this out because I'm not comfortable with. Today, we are excited to have, instead of a stupid old guest, we're going to have not only the opening of a time capsule, but we're going to plant a new time capsule. And so, my understanding from this time capsule, it's how many years old, Cameron? The one that we're digging up?
The capsule we're digging up is 20 years old, and then we're going to, not far off from the article that we read earlier, Dr. London, right around Y2K. And then the time capsule we're going to be putting together will be buried until 2042.
Okay.
20 years from now.
Okay. Thank you. Easier if you had just said 20 years from now, honestly, for me to track it. Okay, so
yeah, if you just want to write it down, I know you've got all the you've got your calculators and stuff out.
I've got the
so if you want to just
here. Yeah, let me get. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, so I guess first we have to get the team. So if everyone, I know we have Sorry, I'm sorry. This is recorded, obviously, but we have just this massive crowd here. So everyone, if you could just grab a rope. Because it's buried kind of deep, and we didn't, dig.
It's a union thing. They don't grab ropes. The crowd unionized earlier.
Yeah. Which, and I know it's not legal for me to say, don't unionize, but it's really difficult whenever we have 10 minutes until we're gonna start this thing, and they just form a union real quick.
Yeah.
And we can't do any of what we plan to do.
Yeah, because it's mostly grabbing ropes and stuff, and usually that's the number one thing they don't want to do. Which I'm kind of why are you here?
Yeah. What did the flyer say?
It said free dog.
Okay. I can see why they might feel misled by that.
Enough to unionize, yeah, I guess so.
So we have this capsule. Unfortunately, it is 6 feet underground, and we didn't dig for it. We just had someone dig enough, they used a machine to shoot down these cables and these ropes so that we could pull it up when the time came. I assumed that everyone has been reading up on my workout regimens and, would be ready.
Lifting beans, yeah.
So, so I guess it's just you and me doing this then, if everyone's unionized.
Yeah, I mean, how many beans heavy do you think this thing is? Just so I have a good gauge.
Because you don't. I get because my turn.
How many cans of beans does this?
It's at least 4.
weigh?
It's at least 4. I'm trying to think of the amount of earth on top of it, the amount of soil. So that's gonna be an issue. We might. So I was only going to use it for, burying the new capsule, but we do have a scooper, a big old machine scooper.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you just press a button on your phone these days, huh? And it just scoops it up for you.
It's not as fun as the group effort, but they all unionized.
I think you should just go ahead and press the scooper button.
Pushed it. Okay, yep, it's easy. It's done. Okay.
Yep, there it is.
So here's the capsule. So
go ahead and we gotta pop it open. Hand me that crowbar, DJ Dylan.
Yep.
Yes.
Dr. Lemon, get back. I don't know what's gonna be in it.
I have an idea.
It could be cursed. It could be a monster. I don't know.
It is. Yeah, haunted. Okay, I'll step back.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay.
The dust is settling. First thing I'm noticing is everything is floating in water. So my contribution made it, which was
with a couple gallons of water.
Yeah, just in case robots opened it.
Oh yeah, and then they would not be able to swim.
They wouldn't be able to experience nostalgia when trying to reach for the stuff.
Oh, because of the water. Yeah, because it's too cold for them.
That's, I guess I should go back to my reason for thinking that the water would be harmful to the robots without the waterproofing is just cold.
Yeah,
robots
just
get
cold.
Chilly. Okay, so
So that's good. I mean, that's awesome that your contribution made
Yeah.
it. I mean, I'm seeing in here I'm seeing here it's like a note. It says, I did it. Nobody stopped me.
yeah.
No one will ever know. And I'm so happy I did. Now that is interesting.
Well,
Did you write do you remember who put this in here?
no, I mean, not specifically. Well, it wasn't you, correct?
I mean, was it either you? I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was busy that day.
Well, yeah, you do say that, don't you? You had almost an alibi.
I typically when I was busy, I typically will say, yeah, I was busy that day.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll put a pin in that one because I don't know who that is. Like, I see a photo of a crime scene
Yeah.
stapled to it, so that might be a hint. But I mean, there's a lot of blood. I don't recognize a crime scene, I guess is what I mean.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping you did because it does look like. I mean, it does look like your face was cut out from a different photo, pasted on the dead body in this crime scene photo, and then there's like X's on its eyes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it kind of seems like you did that, right?
You'd think so.
Yeah.
But
You think it was someone else though?
well, someone who's a fan.
Like like a fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fans, and I did. I'm trying to think back to 20 years ago, but they're like, I had this one super fan. As you know, all the listeners know, the Jock Talk podcast has been going strong for all these years, and back then it was just a sort of a. We hadn't gotten to the audio aspect yet, but we had a lot of transcripts that people loved reading.
But I mean, it was this guy Stan specifically.
Yeah, it was Stan. Yeah, funny that he wrote us a lot of letters, and that does look like his handwriting, doesn't it? That's fun. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty cool. What else is in there, Dr. Linden?
Okay. So there is. I don't know how to say. So there, it looks like there was a dog.
Oh, okay.
Here, I almost wish.
Are you sure someone didn't just put dog bones in there?
I just judging by the smell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the scratch marks all over the
Yeah, that's probably a dead giveaway, huh?
But hey, for all these union people, look, there was a dog for you, so you can't complain that we didn't get that.
Yeah. That was one thing they demanded was a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, they said the flyer said dog. Only said dog, right?
It just said dog.
Yeah. So everyone gets the one dog that unfortunately appears to have passed away within the confines.
But it still fulfills the agreement.
The obligation.
And we can see from its collar what was the dog's name? Oh, it was Anakin because it was like 2002. So like the Star Wars prequels were kind of big around then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow, great. Good for them. Okay. Next one.
Yeah, let me dig down in here. Okay. Well, okay. There's pictures of me. I mean, it's me at the store yesterday.
Huh. That's fun. What were you buying?
Well, I mean, that's I mean, I was buying basketballs, but that was the least of my concern, Dr. London.
That at the time or now?
You know how I like to buy basketballs?
Yeah, well, this is you talk about my bean hoarding as being so crazy, but you buy a lot of basketballs.
Well, I do think if we're in an apocalyptic situation, it's essentially going to be gold.
Yeah. Your assumption is that everyone's gonna, no matter if they are robot or mutant, alien, whatever, they're gonna be up for a game. They're gonna shoot some hoops.
They will understand basketballs as a currency.
Yeah. So, no, I get that.
My bigger concern, Dr. Linden, is how is this picture in here? Actually, there's a few other pictures in here. It says Producer Cameron in 2023. I look really sick.
That sounds like you.
Producer Cameron 2024. Looks like my hands have fallen off. You can sort of tell the difference between hands that were
cut off or versus fallen.
Removed versus fallen, and you can sort of tell these were fallen off. And then Producer Cameron 2025, and it's Dr. London. It's just a gravestone.
They put a whole tombstone,
and I'm sitting on top of it, giving thumbs up.
Okay, all of these sound like if I were to just predict. That's exactly what I would have predicted for you. Every one of those.
Oh, okay.
So that part.
So they were just kind of guessing, and they CGI'd this, maybe?
It couldn't have been regular Photoshop. It would have been full-on CGI. Oh,
yeah.
Which, and our listeners might contest my vocabulary here on this, but no, I'm talking movie CGI incorporated into this. So we know whoever did it might have been involved once again in
Steven Spielberg. There's probably Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg, yes.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So I guess that's neat. And I guess they're a fan of you. And I guess it is a little bit weird that they decided to do one from like that recently, like last week, because it's dated with a specific date and you there and an activity you remember.
Well, and
doing.
I just remember how many, like, it doesn't say the exact date, but I remember how many basketballs I was holding that day when I was leaving the store. That was the day I bought 9 basketballs, and I can see in the photo I'm carrying 9. Or in the Photoshop, whatever I'm looking at here.
Balance on your nose,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 9 stacked on top of... Nothing is in my hand. It's 9 on top of each other on top of my nose like a seal.
Yeah. Which I'm better than a seal, honestly. And that's
I've never seen a seal do 9. Never in my life. Show me. Hey, listeners, show me.
Hats off, or I guess balls off. I guess that's what I should start saying. 'Cause for you, instead of hats off, it would be balls off or basketballs off.
Oh.
Because you're always carrying them on your head.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not wearing it as a hat. It doesn't cover my ears.
Right.
And I feel like that's...
Okay, and that's the minimum requirement. Okay, well,
I mean, what else is in there, Dr. London? Do you see anything?
Well, aside from that, it looks like there's a small civilization that has developed over the last 20 years within there.
Oh, cool.
Aquatic,
nice.
yeah. And I'd like to think that my contribution helped with that, given that they are sea creatures. There's a lot of writhing in the water. When I say civilization, I should say...
Yeah, how advanced are we talking here?
Yeah, I guess what I'm really looking at is just like angry eels and such. Like I'm not actually thinking
there are eels in this tank or in this time capsule?
Yeah, just the water. I put in a lot of water in this and I'm just glad that it made it. But yeah, it looks like cuz what we've picked up so far is just what floated to the top.
Yeah.
And the bones of the dog, the pictures, everything floated to the top, but it looks like most of the tank was taken up by just water, and I'm guessing wherever the water came from already had these creatures in it. And maybe this was sort of the budget-friendly way, just toss them all in.
Wow. And just think, those eels were probably all the way from 2002, Dr. London, and they've just...
Still survived, yeah.
Spent 20 years in the time capsule. To them, Dr. London, It Wasn't Me by Shaggy is still a big hit song.
Wow. And you know what else I love is imagining
American Pie.
How many eels there would have been at the start of this before they consumed each other.
Yeah.
That's
neat.
neat.
Like one other one.
Yeah, the intermittent fasting, yeah. Okay,
I think that's everything in this one, right?
Yeah, I think
nothing
that's
else
it.
is floating. Give me a stick. We can kind of slosh it around. It doesn't. Nothing else is floating to the surface.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a scuba team to find out for sure whether we're done. Or no, wait, because we have to fill it up, right? Which we're gonna have to fill it up again, right? For the next.
I'm not doing jack.
Okay.
You can.
No, that's fair.
But are we ready to prepare for the new time capsule? This is the time capsule that we're going to be burying deep underground to be open 20 years from now.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I guess I am.
Put the bucket down. Stop.
Okay.
You are rushing to fill it with water. Just put it down.
Well, no, but
let's talk about it before you splash it in there. Let's talk about it. Why the water?
Honestly, I guess at this point it is instinct, because I am realizing that no, that's my revision. That's the one thing I would change about my approach to working out is you don't need a super soaker. Okay, I'll put it down. Put it down.
Yeah, I saw it in your eyes the second.
Yeah. So,
the second we opened this thing up, you were just rushing to a bucket.
So we saw what that 20 years ago what our town wanted to put in, and it's everything that we valued most.
It was the town saying, "Hey, this is us in 2002.
Yeah.
This is who we are.
This is a live dog and
some eels,
pictures of Cameron through the years in the future,
and water,
and a lot of water. That's who we are as a town. And so now we're thinking 20 years in the future, what represents the now? And so one thing that I'm going to go ahead and say I think we should include is advertisement. We want the first thing people open, that we want them to see an advertisement for a company that we think has staying power. So
they should have to wait through like 30 seconds of ads and then click next before they can really open the time capsule.
Yeah, and I think they should have another set of ads after that as well.
And they should have to go through a CAPTCHA.
Yeah. Prove that they are not a robot, which I still a concern, obviously. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if you show them pictures of a bunch of planes and then it says only pick the seaplanes, I mean, that's robot proof. Can you imagine a robot being able to learn what a seaplane is?
Impossible.
It's never going to happen.
So
singularity.
Yeah. So I guess I've got a few captchas here. We'll toss those in.
Okay.
Got some advertisements.
What ads do we want to put in there, Dr. London? Do you have anything that really represents the now?
Well, so first of all, I want to advertise the time capsule advertisers. That'll be us. Let me just read the spiel real quick. Think that your company has staying power? When they open that time capsule in 20 years, make sure that your company's bumper stickers and shirts are the first items pulled from the time capsule during the historic ceremony. Okay, that's done. One of the businesses that reached out whenever I presented this opportunity is a valet service for bored cars. Now, I think that cars are still going to be here in the future. So I thought, let's get a valet service for bored cars, because for anyone who saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off, cars seem like they're bored compared to when a valet really takes them on a fun ride.
That's why I think it's really important to get two cars. People think, I live in an apartment. I can really only have the one car. But then when you go to work, that car is just at home all day. What is it? It's going to sleep the whole time. It's going to probably scratch at the door. That's why you get the second one. They keep each other company. But people don't even think about that because they're selfish.
They're selfish jerks, yeah. So I'd say let's get a valet service going for bored cars. Fortunately, Valet Olay is the name of the company. They're really great. They, talked to them extensively about this because I wanted to vet them properly. Say like, do you really think you'll be around in the future? Do you think your business will stay afloat? And I did use the term afloat quite a bit. Didn't realize
you had water on the
how
brain.
much would change. So anyway, Valet Olay is going to be one of our big brands that's going to show up the moment that they open this time capsule. So we've got that. We actually have one other advertiser as well. And this one, once again, I think has staying power. This is a preemptive lottery winner financial advisor. So.
Oh, wow.
Because
what does that mean?
This is everyone who, thinks that they're going to win the lottery in the future. This is for you.
Sure.
So most people who
You're speaking my language, Dr. London.
Most people who win the lottery, they go bankrupt. So with this service, clients who believe that they will win the lottery, they will pay monthly dues to a financial advisor who will stand ready to put their affairs in order the moment that the client wins the lottery. So it's like paying insurance.
Wow. That's so smart. You always have to be ready to suddenly be a billionaire. It can happen at any moment, Dr. London.
So it's like paying insurance against post-lottery bankruptcy. That's the service here. So
yeah, but it's really more financial advice.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's really a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is more of a lifestyle. It's a contingency. It's just a smart way to save. Like it will.
Yeah.
If in the, I guess, remote hypothetical that you don't, win the lottery, it will be just sort of paying a financial advisor monthly, just forever. Yeah. But if you do win the lottery, this will help you so much, because at that point, then they will start to do anything for you. So, very exciting.
And the only thing I can ask, Dr. London, is where do I sign up?
Well, you're going to have to consult the time capsule in 20 years. Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm not allowed to know until 20 years from now. So I am thinking about what kind of stuff represents now that I want to put in there. And I really think about now, what are some of the things that represent our town? A dog. And I think we should put a dog in there. Have we done that before?
Yeah, no, actually earlier in the ceremony, here's what I should say. We gave away the dog that I had handy already. We gave it to all the people who came for the flyer.
Oh, okay.
So, do you have another dog handy?
I do. Yeah. Do you see this little cutie here?
I don't know if we want to send a robot dog into the future. That seems like very risky.
But it'll bond with all the other items in time capsule. And then it'll be the only thing that is able to take down scary robots in the future. That's
true. If it trains.
It has the brain of a robot.
It's the brain.
And it's at least twice as strong as a human because it's a robot. And the algorithm.
I guess now I'm wishing that I had run the algorithm, because I haven't run it and I don't. But okay. So
do we want to? Okay. So I do also have this living dog over here. Do you want, just until you run the algorithm, do you want to just put this pit bull in there? It's a pit bull. Like, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I guess put them both in there. Because then one will train the other, surely, I would think.
Probably either train each other or, eat each other. It's kind of 50-50.
It could go either way, yeah.
And both are science, and both are the future.
Both are science and future, yeah. Okay, so we'll put.
So we'll just go ahead and put those
dogs
in there. What else are we shoving in there, Dr. London?
Okay, what else represents the here and now, our town? Let's put the mayor's wallet. Let's put the mayor's wallet in the time capsule. So, Mayor, if you wouldn't mind, just the ceremonial wallet. Yes. So
he's kind of unwilling to throw it in. Do we want to?
Well, it's the trick here is that he has a wallet chain, which I'm really seeing the practicality of it now. I used to be more critical, but every time Dude,
Dylan, can we saw the chain, please? Right. I mean, that's the only way we can get it off. Right?
I don't know of another. I've never had to deal with this particular situation that I'm guessing the wallet chains were made for. Yeah. So I guess we'll try. Yeah. Go for it. Okay. It's separated.
All right. I went in there.
All right. Toss it in with the chain. I guess maybe the chain will help the dogs later. Okay.
When I'm thinking 2022 in our town, Dr. London, you know what I'm thinking?
What?
A nice scoop of chocolate ice cream. So I think we should put a scoop of chocolate ice cream in there.
From the famous ice cream shop. Yes, of course. Okay.
Yeah. Just
what
plop
flavor?
it in there.
What flavor?
What flavor of chocolate ice cream?
Yeah, what flavor of chocolate ice cream? Yes.
Ooh, I'm thinking apple chocolate ice cream.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Apple. See, I'm thinking potato, actually.
I mean, okay. I guess if this was 2021 then I could see your point. And knowing you and just doctors in general kind of being behind on trends, I sort of, sure, we'll do. I think that's cute, honestly. It's like a throwback. It's like nostalgic.
Well, never mind.
So yeah, let's do the potatoes. No, let's put
we can do an apple.
Maybe write on it. Say this is not trendy. This is like really old news.
Yeah,
but it's like kind of ironic that we're gonna do potato.
Yeah,
potato.
Okay,
chocolate ice cream.
Okay, and
so we wrote that on the ice cream scoop.
On the ice cream, yeah. So that message should carry through to the future. Okay. I guess the last thing, on my end at least, I have these Jinko jeans that I've been trying out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm feeling I feel like this trend is here to stay. So, they're, kind of big and, they're just kind of big on me, but
well, and that's what you want to put into a time capsule is stuff that's going to stay around.
Yeah,
because nothing is more fun than opening a time capsule and it's just all stuff that is just normal.
Yeah, and it's all I'm just thinking of what is the most modern, up to date, trendy, like you were saying.
Yes,
let's stick with what everyone here, what represents a town, right now
is large legged pants.
Yes. So put those in, and I think that's it on my end. Do you have anything else you want to contribute?
Yeah, I mean, I do have this extra dog. Should we just sort of push him in there?
I
don't want to have to take him home.
But I thought you were gonna say it's basketball, but I guess you just want to keep those for yourself.
Yeah, those are going to be currency in the future, Dr. London. I'm going to hold on to those. Those aren't for future people.
Yeah. I just feel like 3 dogs, is a lot of dogs to have in one time capsule.
You think there should be a 4th so that way it's like an even number?
Just so they can make friends. Yeah, because they're going to take sides and you're going to have 2 bullying the...
So let's do 2 Boston Dynamics robot dogs. And then 2 pit bulls.
Okay. That sounds easy. Simple. Okay.
Right, so we'll just push them
makes
in
sense.
there.
Yep. And then we're going to go ahead and fill it up with some water.
Yeah, go ahead and fill you do want to put some water in there for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And they got a nice healthy doggy paddle going now.
Yep. Just go ahead and seal it up. DJ Dylan?
Seal it up.
Yes.
Yeah. You put on the DJ Dylan seal. Okay. And we'll push that in
right into the hole.
Okay.
Can the crowd help
that's what I was gonna
at
ask.
all?
Nope.
No, and they're saying no. It's another union thing. Okay, that's fine.
They thought ahead of this. Yeah. That wasn't the charter.
Now, do we want to push it in, or do you just want to use your app again, just to use the Scoopy machine to just push it in?
I'll just. I don't know if it's a one-time use thing. Let me check. Does it have a refill? So if we now I feel stupid for sealing it already because there is another sort of paid service you can do where you get extra scoop, monthly.
Mm-hmm.
So
1 scoop a month.
Yeah, I didn't pay for that this time. I thought we'd only need the 1. So
I hate how these apps just nickel and dime you. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, DLC. Oh, pay $2 for this.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and push it in. Just think bean strength.
Oh wow, he's doing it by himself. Beans are like shooting out of his pores.
Well, I got it. All right.
Wow, that was the strongest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, Dr. London. Thank you.
So, we successfully opened and started a new time capsule. I feel like we learned a lot with that. Thank you to our advertisers, specifically the time capsule advertisers, as well as the valet service of board cars, Valet Olé, and then also the unnamed preemptive lottery winner financial advisor insurance. We're very thankful for these sponsors in the future. Thank you to producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the host.
Little London, little London. Little London. Little London. Little London, little London. Little London, little London. Little London, little London.
My name is Dr. RonanSmith.com, and this has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.